Welcome to another session of New Start Now, and I got an exciting story for you. With us is Nina Clark, and before I interview her, I want to show you what she had to say when she arrived. So let's watch that now.
Well, I recently had a ruptured Baker's cyst behind my left knee, and I knew I would have to have a knee replacement eventually, but it was not yet. The doctor said it's not time. I have arthritis in my hands. I love to play the piano and I like to sew. I even like to use a scroll saw, but I can't. I do have fibromyalgia. My bones hurt and I have a lot of soreness. Personally, I just want to have more energy. I want to be my right weight, which I think should be by at least 130, maybe less. But I'd like to be over the pains and aches. I'd like to be able to move my leg. I don't want to be a cripple. I don't want to have to. I don't really walk so badly, but after I sit a while and get up, then I'm just like a cripple sometimes. I would like to see if they can really take me off the Tricor and I can live a lifestyle that will keep me from having high triglycerides. I don't want to stroke out. I don't want to leave my husband for another widow to grab up. I want to be with him as long as the Lord allows.
Welcome back, friends. And yes, Nina is with us here. Hi, Nina.
Hi, Ron.
This is a special friend in that your daughter and I work together. Yes. As you know. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about you. Tell us what has happened since you got here. What has transpired?
Ron, I have exercised as much as my leg would allow, mostly on the treadmill, and it has made my leg more flexible. I can walk a better gait, and I have kept doing my exercises that I was doing previously, but I have only lost 4 pounds. That doesn't mean I'm not going to lose the rest of that weight. But as my leg allows and as days go by, I'll be following this program. I will be losing the excess weight. I want to tell you one special benefit that I've had in coming here. I'm so glad that my husband and I decided to come. Before this, I was having trouble sleeping because of my fibromyalgia pain. I would go to bed, I'd be dead tired, go to bed, lay there, hurt, roll around. Finally, I'd say, well, I need some muscle relaxant. I'd get up and take a muscle relaxant, go back to bed, roll around. I'd say, if I eat a little bit of something, I'll go to sleep better. And you know, when you eat, the blood from your brain goes to your belly, and I would go to sleep. But then in the morning, I'd wake up and, I'd have gnawing in my stomach. And when I started to do my exercises, I'd say, to ask my husband, please bring me some crackers. And I'd chew on crackers while I was doing my exercises because my stomach was gnawing so badly. And I thought, well, I've got an ulcer, whatever. Well, since I came to New Start, I decided to try the 2-meal a day.
And that's
I've done
breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
And it has worked for me. I have had no hunger pangs on this entire 18-day. I have not been hungry after dinner, before breakfast. And when I get up in the morning, my stomach doesn't hurt. I could care less whether I eat. It's not that I've got to hurry up to breakfast. And so that's been a real blessing. I ate one time at supper time during this session, and I wished I hadn't because it upset my cycle. And so that has been a real blessing to me, to be able to get good sleep and not have the stomach upset that I've had previously.
What about aches and pains? What's happened there?
I had never had a massage until I came here.
Never?
And never had a massage. I'd had physical therapy for different problems, but not a body massage like I got. I have never been in a car wash hydrotherapy. That was something else. And we've used the
Tell the
sauna.
folks what the car wash is.
That is something else. You go in there, and you know, I'm not very tall. So you go in there, and there's these jets. Someone said 18. I don't know how many. but they just keep going. And
they're shower heads, right?
And then the brushes come out and scrub you. No, no brushes. But I mean, and you keep in that until she gets hotter and hotter, and then when it's too hot, then she turns on the cold, and then you have to count to 30. And when you think you're going to keel over, the warm comes again. She does that 3 times, and oh, that's invigorating.
And what does that do, you know?
Well, I know it gives you better circulation.
Yes.
And I'm sure it takes the inflammation or the tightness out of your muscles, and helps
builds
the
white
muscles.
cells as well. And okay, so
I don't have to understand all about it to know that it works.
good, good. And so, what else are you real excited about? You've changed the diet here, have you not? Or
I was a vegetarian before I came here, but I wasn't fully a vegan vegetarian, and I was not off eating sweets either. What I've learned here is going to be with me from now on. What I wish so badly, Ron, is that I had known this 30, 40, however many years ago, and could come to this point. But here I am, I'm 80. Well, I still want a good life for as long as I live.
yes.
And I can have it if I stick with the New Start program, and I'm sticking with it.
Tell our viewers, what is a vegan?
A vegan is a person who is totally abstinent from all animal products. Milk, meat, eggs, cheese. And don't get scared, because you can get a wonderful diet without those things. The cooking school is wonderful. We had a lot of fun. Everybody got in. Everybody did their recipes. And that's one thing I want to tell you, that I have enjoyed meeting all the people that are in this program with me. They're friends. I don't want to lose them. When they go, we're going to email, we're going to write. But it's a camaraderie. My husband and I went home over one night, and we were kind of out of the mix. And everyone said, "Where did you go? We missed you. We don't like it. You stay here." And we were kind of lost without the program. So I don't know what I'm going to do when I go home, but I'll adjust.
Well, you can always come and visit the next group and hang out here if you wish.
Well, I've told my brother, and I believe my brother and his wife will be here within the next 3 programs they're going to go through. I wish to tell everyone that no matter what your age is, but come as soon as you can.
Yes.
Come and learn and live a better life. You'll be glad that you did.
Now, you've had some time with your doctor. Who's your doctor, by the way?
Dr. Lukens.
Dr. Lukens. And I know that you've visited Dr. Lukens at his office.
Yes.
Tell us, have you walked with Dr. Lukens? Have you eaten with him?
We eat with him quite often. He is good. He makes himself available in the dining hall and sits with different people, and we've eaten with him. Of course, my husband is here with me, and so we have walked together mostly. And we've gone on the treadmill a lot rather than out on the trails because of my leg. But the trails are nice, and even the loop is not too hard for me.
The loop.
But
what's the loop?
The loop is a half mile that stays within the perimeter almost of the middle of the campus, and it's up and down hill, so I couldn't do it as readily as I might have. But we did go out on the trail. We went out on Coyote Trail, and that was fun. But Dr. Lukens has been very helpful to us. He listens. He studies the situation. He gives us frank answers, and he's been a friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Now, what is the one thing you're going to take away from this program that perhaps had a profound effect on you?
It's hard. It's hard to say what. We stood around the piano and sang. We sat around the fireplace. We were a family.
Yeah.
We shared sadness and gladness. I guess mostly I'm just thankful for the way the Lord has made us so that our bodies can heal, so that I don't have plaque in my veins and I don't have diabetes, but I can live a happier, healthier life by following the principles that God has put in His book.
Well, that's wonderful. Nina, I want to thank you for joining us, and
Good to
God
be
bless
here.
you. Folks, don't go away because Dr. Lucan's going to be right with us. We're going to have a nice interview with him and find out how she got healthy. Don't go away.
Well, you've done very well. Do you have diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, or do you weigh too much? Hi, my name is Dr. Ng, and I'd like to tell you about our 18-day New Start Lifestyle program. It includes a comprehensive medical evaluation with laboratory studies and an exercise stress test, physician consultations, culinary school, and an opportunity to walk on beautiful trails in the foothills of the Sierras. Your health is one of the most important things that you have. Don't wait. Give us a call at 800-525-9192 or visit our website, newstart.com.
Welcome back, friends, and we have with us Dr. Lucans. Dr. Lucans, how are you?
Thank you. Always happy again to talk about health.
It's always good to see you as well. Well, we have an unusual story here today, and perhaps you can enlighten our viewers about some of the difficulties she had at first. And I want to start with her knee, because I knew when she first got here she couldn't walk very well. Maybe you can tell us what.
Yeah, I hope that she doesn't mind me saying that she's over 80 years of age and really in pretty good health. And she had the problem with the knee. I think originally it was an old injury. But be that as it may, arthritis is something that in a person that age, whether they're thin and especially if they're overweight, the joints just wear out and there's so much pain and so much disability and so much lack of the wonderful things of life to have this. And so she finally had to have surgery on that and have that knee replaced, and that's what she was struggling with. And then, as sometimes happens, she got an infection, and finally, after 6 months, it's finally healing up, and she was able to get around on it. But like she said, not like she wanted to.
Well, was it the knee or that was keeping her from walking a lot? I know she's walking more today than when she first arrived.
Yeah, and she's having less pain, and there's we'll talk about that in just a minute. But yeah, it was, and if you were to look at both knees, you would see that this other one is about 50% wider than the other one, and that's from the swelling and the inflammation and stuff. But at least the infection's under control, and with the hydrotherapy and the massage, she was doing very, very much better, and you could tell that she was pleased.
Good. What about the fibromyalgia and the...
Well, that's the thing that, you know, when we've talked before, I keep talking about prostaglandins, and that's the reason why we take Advil and we take aspirin and naproxen, Aleve, and all these different things. That's to cut down on inflammation. But what's really wonderful is that when a person switches over to a purely vegetarian diet. Now, she said, I was vegetarian, and that could be lacto-ovo-vegetarian. That would be the technical term for it. The lacto, of course, is the milk, and the ovo is the eggs. And so when we eat a fair amount of these things, we're still getting a lot of animal fats in our diet. Now, prostaglandins are made up of fat. And so when we have just strictly, purely, solely plant-based fats, we make a different set of prostaglandins than if we have a fair amount of the animal fats. And those are not anti-inflammatory, and you get a lot of inflammation when you have animal fats, which are making up your prostaglandins.
Right.
We talked about prostaglandins before when we talked about the dilation of the tiny blood vessels, so the brain, the heart, the kidneys, and those get more circulation, and then they start getting well. Well, that happens in the joints and in the muscles too, where the fibromyalgia is. But the part I like to talk about is the inflammation, and that goes way down when we get onto the prostaglandins that are only from the plant-based foods.
Now, what do you mean by inflammation? Perhaps you can share with us what you're talking about there. I've heard this term over and over again, and I think I understand it, but perhaps the viewers would like to hear more of that.
Well, there are substances in our body when there's injured tissue, and those substances make for inflammation, so you get redness, you get swelling, and you get pain. And like with fibromyalgia, and she was talking about that she wasn't able to sleep, and she had to take all those medications, and then they upset her stomach, and people don't like that, but you know, you're weighing the one against the other. Am I going to put up with the pain and no sleepless and no sleep, or am I going to take these pills? And anyway, when she was able to do this and get the hydrotherapy, the massage, and the decrease of the inflammation from the good prostaglandins that were made from fats, from plants, then that goes away. And it starts going away, and the best we've ever seen is somebody that came in a wheelchair with fibromyalgia and left walking, and that's the most dramatic one, but people will get half the pain sometimes by the end of the 3 weeks.
Yeah. I also understand that her triglycerides dropped about 400 points. I know they were high initially, but in 18 days they dropped 400 points. Is that true?
Well, no, she had triglycerides over 1,100. And the highest that I've seen, one of my patients that came here, her triglycerides were 3,300.
Wow.
And that if you look at some blood that's drawn from that person and you spin it, you'll see it looks like cream on the top instead of serum. But they put her on something called trichlor, which can help bring that down. But the best thing to do it is to do it with a lifestyle so that you don't have to take the medications. And even though she had a low level on the trichlor, a much lower level on the trichlor, on the dietary program that she was on, she dropped even more. Now the idea would be to get her to go just slowly off of those and see if the diet and the exercise would do it for her. The weight loss is going to be a huge thing on both cholesterol and on triglycerides.
Now, while we're on the subject of weight loss, she didn't lose a lot of weight in this 18 days. I see some people, like we had a guy lose 30 pounds in 18 days, but I think she's lost 4 or 5, maybe 6 pounds. Was that it? Yeah,
and she will continue to do this. Now, you can tell us from your own experience. She said that she went on a 2-meal plan, and that's really, really wonderful for weight loss. And that happened with you too, didn't it?
Yeah, I went on the 2-meal plan, and of course I lost about 22 pounds when I was here.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, no, it is.
So she'll continue losing. What is the recommended weight loss? 2 pounds a week, 1.5 pounds?
Well, see, the thing is, weight is a really tough thing because I keep insisting on the people getting this into their mind, because we had a lady here when it was a 4-week program, and she lost 4 dress sizes, and her weight was exactly the same when she finished the program. Oh my goodness. So, you know, that was terribly discouraging to her. What am I going to tell my friends? Well, what do you have to tell them? Pull your dress out to the side, show them what you look like. But anyway, see, the good thing about the 2-meal-a-day plan, Americans are on 2 meals a day. They eat some kind of a lunch and then a huge supper. That's what the sumo wrestlers do to, you know, keep all their weight on. So if you'll eat a big breakfast, and then you're going to be active, and then a very large lunch, you can tell people how it worked for you. So that was a wonderful thing. And if a person tries it, they might think, oh, I could never do that, because that's because their body is used to having all that food at night, and our bodies adjust to what we do, and they can adjust the other way. So go for a walk, take a glass of cool water, and be on your way. And at the end of a week or two, they say, you know, I didn't think I could do this, but it's really great.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, they lose the weight.
And I slept better. I could sleep better.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, if your stomach is grinding away there for 4, 5, or 6 hours, your digestive system is active, you're not going to get a restful sleep.
I know it's real easy to sleep right after you eat, but then I would
there's
wake
a
up.
reason for that.
I'm sure there is, and maybe you can tell us about that.
Well, in the short time that we have left, what happens is that the body gets a little bit alkaline because the acid goes into the stomach to digest the proteins. And so when the blood's a little bit more alkaline, you feel a little bit more sleepy. But no, that doesn't last for very long.
Right.
But the other is really, really good.
Now, you're going to be watching after Nina for some time because she's living...
Yeah, she's local, yeah.
Yes.
And we'll get her back on.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Any other comment about Nina?
Well, I think that she's on her way, and she realizes that what she's doing is so effective. And, you know, if a person's been having pain and stuff like that, to be pain-free is huge.
Amen. Dr. Lukens, thank you once again for being here.
Yeah.
And we'll get back with you in the future, I know. And thank you, folks, for joining us. But don't go away. Don't touch that dial, because we're going to have a tip for you in just a moment. And you can start your own program right in your living room.
Hi, my name is Kathy, and today with us we have Don McIntosh. And today, Don, what we're going to talk about? How about rest?
We're going to talk about rest.
Great.
And, you know, people today just don't get enough rest.
They don't.
In America, how many people do you suppose are struggling with rest or insomnia issues just even today?
Oh, just in my family alone, I know 3 people.
And just multiply your family by many, many multitudes. It's actually about 60 million people in America that are struggling with rest today. And one of the reasons is we have all kinds of artificial light. We're not getting the rejuvenation that we need. So, you know, we'll stay up late, and we just have all kinds of problems. Have you ever had problems going to sleep?
Yes, I have, when stress and things going on. And when I was younger, I drank a lot of caffeine, so of course that probably triggered a lot of it off too.
Sure, that interrupts, you know, the sleep cycles, and of course people will drink that to stay awake, and that does cause problems. So I want to talk about just several real practical things concerning rest, things you can do at home. And, you know, some of these things, we shared. Dr. Nedley, you know, here works at New Start, and some of the other physicians. And some of these things are just very practical things we do here at the program or in another program called Depression Recovery. And one of them is to make sure that we get enough melatonin. And of course, melatonin is a hormone substance that is secreted by a little tiny gland in the middle of your brain. It's called the pineal gland. It kind of looks like a pine cone. And that tiny little gland will secrete this, but guess what? It only will secrete that hormone when it's completely dark.
Now, for those people that don't know about exactly what melatonin is, where do they get that from? How do they go through?
Well, the body makes it. It's like a hormone, and it's made by the body, and you have to eat the right substances to make that. And I'll come back to that in a little bit. But complete darkness is just essential to make that melatonin, and it's best made before the hours of midnight. So if you go to bed, say 11:30, your melatonin moments are not really that great. But if you go to bed, you know, before midnight, several hours, then you get some real good melatonin production. That's just one thing. Another thing is just get up with the sun. If you get up with the sun, when the sun gets up, this is a great thing. It resets your clock. And some people, in fact, when we're dealing with folks that are dealing with depression, we'll give them light therapy, 20 minutes in the sun, and if they're still having problems with insomnia, sometimes around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we give them an artificial lamp that they can get, or else go out in the sun and they get more light therapy.
So how long does your body take to make it? In a 24-hour period, 2 days, 3 days?
Every day. It's kind of like, you know, one of these circadian rhythms. Every day you need to rest and then get up and rest and get up, and of course the body then needs weekly rest. But back to this melatonin, you have to have the right chemicals to make it in your body. And I mean, I think sometimes it's you don't need to stress out about all these big words. You just have to eat the right kind of foods. But to make melatonin, they have this fancy name for something that you have to make it, and that's tryptophan. And tryptophan is just basically in food that you should be eating anyway. Like, well, lots of people around the world that eat rice, And rice, you know, of course, brown rice is better for you, but it's high in tryptophan. Pumpkin seeds are excellent tryptophan sources. Then anything that's like with soybeans, like tofu, is an excellent source as well. Almonds, do you like almonds?
Oh, I love almonds, yes.
Like, what kind of almonds you like? You like them roasted? You like them?
Anyway, I like them roasted.
Yeah.
Anyways,
They're a great nut.
a little bit
but
salted.
They're a great nut, yeah, they're a great nut. Well, easy on the salt, but you know, a little salt's good for you.
Okay.
But not a lot. Then also the walnuts as well. Walnuts are very good in that. So that doesn't sound too bad, right?
No.
And that gives you the building blocks for not only melatonin, but also serotonin. And the serotonin's made during the day, makes you happy, and the melatonin's made at night, and it restores. You see, when you go to sleep at night, it's not like your body doesn't have anything to do. It's like, okay, you went to sleep, let's repaint this, and let's do this, let's fill up the oil, let's do this, let's get the car running again. This is why you just, you need rest. It's not like it's an active thing. So after that, you eat those foods that are high in that. Another good thing is, what do you suppose? Moderate exercise. Why do I say moderate?
Just walking or something gentle, not too much before bed.
Right. Moderate exercise would be excellent because you don't want to overdo it. If you do overdo it, then, you know, that's too much of a good thing. So, you know, there's a lot more that I could talk about rest, but these are just some practical tips. And really dark, and get up with the sun, exercise, and the right foods that give you good rest.
Great. Well, thank you, Don. That was great information. Join us for next time and visit our website at newstart.com for more information on this subject.
Hi, I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have this edition of New Start Now. I'm Jim Brackett, Executive Vice President here at the Weimar Center. I want to take just a moment to give you an idea of some of the wonderful resources we have here at the bookstore, such as Dr. Nedley's book called Proof Positive. Now, in addition to Dr. Nedley's book, he has a series on depression recovery. We have the New Start Lifestyle series on DVD by our New Start physicians relating to topics in diabetes, heart disease, cancer. We have a number of authors who have cookbooks here, including some in the raw field. Now, we'd love to have you stop by and visit us for your shopping, but you can do it online at newstart.com. Click the link that says bookstore, or use our 800 number, 525-9192. And by the way, anytime your order is $100 or more, we'll see that you get free the New Start Lifestyle Cookbook.
Thank you for joining us, friends. We'll see you next week, same time, same station. In the meantime, pick up that phone and give us a call. God bless you.